Hi, I'm Richie Mackay.
And I'm Davey Bolt, and you are listening to the Wrongbias podcast.
And on show 60, we are joined by Scotland's Stewart Anderson. We look back at the World Indoor Championships, and the lad reveals his introduction to the short mat game. We ask, is twos up in triples good for the sport, or just the work of the devil? As always, thanks to our podcast competition sponsors, Bowlswear Direct, our streaming sponsors, Rent and Wealth Management, Brilliant Auction, and our pocket rocket, You Know Who You Are. Hope you enjoyed the show, folks, and as always, thanks for your support. And welcome everybody to show 60 of the Wrongbias podcast. Now, it's a while since we've done it, mate. What's the 60th wedding anniversary?
Oh, crikey.
If I start going, diamonds are forever. Forever.
Well,
That's right. That's right. It's Shirley Bassey. Yep, yes, diamonds, 60. Mate. That's what we are. Two rough diamonds.
60 shows, eh?
60 shows, mate. 37,000 downloads. I just checked today. People know that you can actually now listen to the podcast on YouTube. On our YouTube channel. Yeah, because I've uploaded, I've linked it, and it's all up on YouTube as well. We will probably touch on the World Indoors later on the show because we've got Stewart Anderson on the show, but it's the Wrongbias. We'll just congratulate Jason, who was obviously on the podcast. His quadruple success. Like you said, he was due to win something, and 4 times, mate. You are indeed Mystic Meg.
Well, I remember our conversation before Christmas, and I said, sorry, Jason, but you're not winning it this year because I'm going to win it. It went well.
It's all right, I've got to play it back. Now, on our last show, we all gave our predictions for the World Indoor Singles, and my right-hand man gave us his, and here it is.
I'm going to go out. I'm not going to go for anybody else but myself.
You go for yourself?
Well, the best bridesmaid in the whole world.
Well, I always say law of averages. Looks got to change sometime.
Well, at least you got this one right.
And I'm going with myself, and I'll see you all when I'm in my house in the second round watching on the telly.
And now, back to the show. Anyway, also congratulations to Michael Stepney on his first WBT title. Beth Reaver on her first title as well. It was great to see Beth on the green. And, of course, Julie Forrest as well, winning another match play title. Big shout out to Aaron Johnson, who's now crept into the top 16. He sees Greg Harlow drop to 17 and out of the top 16, which is a bit of a landmark moment. Our Mara, Paul Hartley, had a good run at the last 8, gets him into the 18th spot. He needed to beat Dorsey to actually get in the top 16. He just fell short. The lad was gutted, but he's had a fantastic 12 months, mate.
Talking about the other day, and he might disagree, he might say different, but I just think he's brought that quick runner into his game. He had it outdoors, and then I'd had a few chat. Probably just need to get through stuff a little bit more in these sets games, and he's got a bullet of a runner. You know, he's got a great running ball, and he's starting to use it to maximum effect now. And then obviously he just sticks his drawn prowess in there as well, and it's a good combination to have.
And he's a nice lad as well, mate.
He's all right.
He's one of the good guys. He's one of the good guys. If you can't get on with the ball, you can't get on with nobody.
You didn't have to face him when you miss with a ball when I'm skipping for him in the competitions. That nice.
Bears, open bears. How am I balling? Also, Stewart Anderson, number 1 seed at the WBT rankings. Fair play to the lad.
Again, just pure consistency over the last few years, and Scottish titles and world titles on a consistent basis. For me, like I say, I think probably from that point of view, he's probably the top WBT world bowler at the moment, in my opinion. Jason's obviously put a massive benchmark down there and got a big target on his back for 2025.
Just keeping with it briefly, obviously the press run up to the tournament was difficult due to the Israel situation. I think the WBT were put in a no-win position. Whatever, they were damned if they did and they damned if they don't. It was disappointing from my point of view to see a world governing body virtually wiping the hands of the WBT, and then for the BBC to jump on the bandwagon was equally disappointing. I think a lot of outside influence who put pressure on the WBT to act got away with it with no bad press when the decision was made and ultimately reversed. I hate politics in sport, and I hate seeing organisations hauled over the coals and other people getting away scot-free. I'm not sure about the Masters event, as Stewie probably said, in place of the under-25 singles. Again, the WBT were criticising dropping the event. I would have expanded it, and I'm sure the WBT would have liked to have expanded. So you can read what you want in that. All I'm going to say is dog, tail, wag, or tail, wag, dog. You decide. Commonwealth Games, mate. The format was announced. Singles pairs, men's, women's, para bowls, squad of 2 or 3. Home nation selectors. We'll have a few sleepless nights, mate. We're just delighted to be in the competition, mate, aren't we?
Of course we are. Got to be. I mean, to be chosen as the one of the few sports when people are forever saying that bowls gets the short shrift all the time and don't get the exposure.
Yeah.
You're not going to get any more exposure in a smaller tournament than what we're going to get in the Commonwealth Games. So it's fantastic that we're in there. What's
going to be great to see is how they're actually going to fit the 4 rinks into the arena with the seating. I think that's going to be great because it's a big arena and it's got loads of seats. It'd be good to see how they combine it.
Yeah, definitely. So on today's show, I got a little message from my friend Mr. Hartley whilst down at Potters, and I think he was having a little chat with our guest tonight. And I must admit, he is somebody I've been wanting to get onto the podcast for a long time. We've got a lot of top players on, and it's nice to have Stewart Anderson on the show tonight. One of the best players, if not the best player in the world, I would say, in my opinion. But great to have you on the show, Stu.
Yeah, thanks for asking me, mate.
Your life is complete now, mate.
Yeah, well, it's good to hear that.
You've done the World Championships, but now you've done the pinnacle. You've been on the wrongbias podcast.
Yeah, that's me complete. Yeah.
So I think before we obviously talk a little bit about yourself, Stu, I think I saw you at the final at Potters when I was watching on BBC. It would be a right thing to do. I'm sure we're going to cover a little bit more about it in the podcast as well. But obviously, huge congratulations to Jason for what he achieved down at Potters. Where do you sort of rank what the lad's done? You've known him for a long time, obviously being part of the Scotland setup. That achievement, where do you pitch that?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't think people say it might not be done again, but again, for me, I think it can be done again. I think because everybody will now start to try and push it. If the person who wins the Scottish, the next thing they're going to look at, well, let me go and win the next 3. I'm not just saying this because it's myself I want to show, but I nearly done it last year when I only got beaten the mixed pairs final and I won the rest of them. So what Jason's done is, listen, I don't think words can ever take away what he's achieved because it's, for me, unbelievable isn't enough for what he's done, but I think it's just amazing what he's done as well. But yeah, it's definitely something a lot of people want to do, but for me to do that is like you try 100 times and never do it, to be honest.
I think for me the biggest thing about it is the likes of yourself, Alex, Paul, Nicky, the guys in the top 16. You have been consistently world class for years and years and years. And Jason, absolute top player. But I think it's just that massive impact that he's just had in such a short period of time. To obviously, we talked about it before, and the sort of pedigree that gives the PBA, the professional bowls qualifiers, is huge because the lad scrapped like everybody else to get through there. And within the space of 3 years is it now? He's made a world final, and then he's obviously done a clean sweep. The clean sweep comes with his consistency because you don't get into the mixed pairs, for example, if you don't get into that top 8. And obviously, again, you've got to be in the top 16 to be part of the pairs. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for me now. It's the big target on his back. Do you see him being able to continue that reign for a long period of time? Like you've just said, everybody's now aspiring to obviously do something similar. And I agree with you. I think it can be done.
Yeah, I think what Jason's took away from it, Jason lost to Jamie Walker, and I think that actually helped him in a way. I think that kind of he knows what happens. He knows all the circumstances down at Potters. He knows what to do, what not to do. He went about his business the right way. Like the man must have practiced for about 350 hours a day. Honestly, every time you see him walking by, he's got a bowling bag with him. And it doesn't matter if it's 9 in the morning, 9 at night, 11 at night. He's still got that bowling bag with him. And fair play to the guy. And it's worked for him. And it's what an achievement he's done. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I said when he was on the podcast just before Christmas, pre the sort of World Championships, I'd said the same sort of thing. I take my hat off to the fact that he can focus and concentrate and practice for that long, because I'm on for about 30 seconds and I'm bored stiff. It's like I want to be off. If I get 2 or 3 close, that'll do. I'm playing all right. I'm off.
Like us, Dale, we look at the schedule when we play, and then we'll put 2 slots in for that time if it's possible. But Jason's on there at midnight, and he just because he does his own thing. And listen, fair play to him. And would I go that way? Probably not. But it's isn't it?
I think we would if we were offered the big bucks to be able to do it. I think that's the big difference, isn't it? It's like, it's a hard thing to do when you're going out and doing a day's work and then coming home, and, there's more to life than just work balls and doing that type of thing. But if it was something where you were making a career out of it, then I think I would certainly try my best to do a little bit more. For me, you look at Jason, and I've looked at him so many times, and his delivery is just completely unorthodox. It's not out of, the boot what coaches turn around and say, where it's a lot about follow through. He's just got such a small step and push delivery.
I've seen Jason, as you say, for many years now, and his delivery's changed so much. Because he used to be the big swing, and then he would have this week and a week in a grip, and then a follow through, and now it's just like 1 wee step, and it's obviously something he's worked on back home, probably with his family as well. His dad's obviously a great player in his own right as well, so I think the full family's worked on the deliveries as well, because I think Carla's sisters chop and change deliveries as well, so must be doing something that suits him as well. And then obviously he's worked on this big drive where it's come from nowhere and it's working for him, so brilliant.
I want to know how Jason Banks can come away from Potters a stone lighter, and I bet you used to didn't come back from Potters a stone lighter.
Well, I'll tell you a wee story about this, and obviously I got asked to stay on to do some commentating, so it was great for me to stay on and do that. So, but Jason we get to the big gala dinner, and I'm sure he'll not mind me saying this. So get to the big gala dinner, and so as everybody knows, Jason's the most fussiest eater we've ever seen in your life. So we're all sitting down there to braised steak, the best potatoes you get, like the top range of food, David, right? Jason's dinner was 9 chicken nuggets and chips. That's what he asked for. That's what he sat down this big gala dinner. There's 9 chicken nuggets. I think they have to go and get the chef to go to Tesco or Asda to get a packet of frozen chicken nuggets from. Great. And of course he had to get his side of tomato sauce. So that was him. I don't think the chef was too happy because he left about 5.
So while you're down Potters, Stewie, it's 15, 16, 17 days. You work in your home life?
So I'm self-employed, so it's not too bad. I get plenty of time off as I want, so it was okay for me. But to fair play to the other guys like Jason, obviously, I'm sure Jason probably has to take time off and then probably does some work down here. I don't really know what he's. I think he's an engineer, and so like the other guys, Alex and Paul, work for themselves, so I'm sure they'll get plenty of time off. But it's difficult as well, especially when you get a young family as well, when you're away for that long time. So as it gets difficult at the end of the week, but you're there to do a job at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realise that the likes of the number of days that you've got to take off work or you come back. I mean, I know Davey comes back when he wins a one, he travels back and then he has to do the 6-hour trip down. So it is a big commitment, and obviously home life as well, mate.
Bonus is I haven't had to do that 6-mile trip for quite a while.
Yeah, you have a life.
I'll just tell work I'll have 3 days off. I'll see you on Thursday.
Just hope you get drawn on a Sunday. You'll be back in at work on Monday.
It's a long way to go for one game of goals. I can guarantee that.
Oh, it is. You're right there. Moving aside, Stu, obviously we've got you on to have a little bit of a chat. So from your own point of view, how would you sum up your own championships?
Yeah, I was disappointed, to be honest. I know I've got to quarter-final of singles. First round of pairs was a bit of a disaster. Because, listen, I'm not going to sit here and moan about the carpet because, listen, we all know the carpet just wasn't the same. But, listen, it's the same for everybody. For me, it just did not suit my game one bit. I'm chopping and changing balls, no confidence whatsoever, what line to put them down. At the end of the day, I've went to Potters now for, nearly 14 years. And I've never changed a set of balls in my life. I just go with the same set and play. And this year I had to change. I'm not sitting here being sour grapes or nothing. That was just a fact. It's like my balls are not good enough, and that's the end of the day.
But it's a really valid fact as well, though, Stu, because at the end of the day, it's that you hear it all the time when you go to, especially probably outdoor greens and things like that, where pushy as anything, and people turn around and say, well, it's the same for both. Well, it is, but it's not the same for both because there's a level you play at and there's a level they play at. And that carpet this year was very, very tricky. And, Paco, for me, probably did the right thing and went with a big, massive set of swingers, which he seemed to get over all of the rubbish. Should you be able to do that on an indoor surface?
I know I lost to David Gourley, and David Gourley was the same. He's out there with these green lignoids, which was just internationals, but that's who played like lignoids. They were so big, and it was brilliant against me with them when I'm forcing up in this inside line and then losing my weight and then trying going the high line, getting the kicks. And this time I just like, just get me off here. That's the way you feel and with no confidence at all.
I completely agree, because I just feel that two factors for me. First one is you were forever looking to try and avoid the hangs, and that was a massive factor in the shots that you play. For me, you're never going to get perfection, but you should be able to walk away from the head and be able to just say, right, I'm just going to wang it down the line and I'm going to be there or thereabouts. You know, we know there's the little runners have always been a little bit tricky on the portable rink, but generally they draw on both hands. You can play them both. If you know them, you can play them. And the second point for me is I think that was accentuated by the shot clock. It's no secret of the fact I've had an issue with the shot clock for a long time. It's not for the fact of the speed of play, it's for the fact of I just feel there is too many rush shots, and I felt it was more prevalent this year because you had very little time to work out what am I going to do and what hand am I going to play, because I know that's probably going to hang off. Do I play it quick? Do I try and play that draw and hopefully miss the hang? And I just think that really stood out a lot this year, and there was a lot of poor balls from top class players, and I think that speaks for itself.
For me personally, like, I played two games in the afternoon, so I played my first game was straight after to get this right, the World Pairs final. So the carpet was still pacey, so I was actually getting roundabout balls against the guy from Israel. Then when I on and played the second game, I played the 1 o'clock game, and you always know that's a game everybody wants to play in because the carpet's pretty decent at that time of the afternoon because it's warm in the arena. And against Sam, I was getting back, my balls was fine, but then just when I went on to play David in that 10 o'clock morning session, it was just the carpet was dead, and I hadn't practiced on it at that time in the morning either. So I was playing through all these wee wiggles and runs where I just wasn't used to it, and I'm going to blame that for me losing, obviously. But to me, my confidence was so low going into there, like, I just didn't have a clue where they were going. And it was like you know for your wee half an hour practice prior to your match how it's going to go. And that half an hour, I was like, see if I'd noticed, I'd still be writing them down this minute, just try to find a line, to be honest. People ask me when I've come home what I took away from it, and what I took away from the full championship was like, I thought the bowls wasn't great viewing, but I thought the person who won every event was probably the most consistent player. I wouldn't say the best player, but I think they were the most consistent player in the full event. Because I thought the bowling, the games, I couldn't walk away saying, oh, that game was brilliant, that game was great to watch. I just thought it was, most games were a bit scrappy here and there, but as I say, I thought Jason and even Beth, Julie, I think they were the most consistent players on the day when they won it, I think, for me.
I think the biggest thing that I haven't watched it yet again, being sat in the house after the first round, sure up again, Rich. The biggest thing I saw was the amount of times I thought to myself, Stewie or Dorsey or whoever it was playing that game, that's like, peeling a tangerine for them. The simple shots, if you know what I mean. Drawn within a couple of foot where they'd walk away and you'd think, I'm going to get punished here. And there were so many times that players weren't punished by what would be bread and butter for a lot of the guys down there on a regular basis. And that's what I saw. And for those who haven't played on it or don't understand what the portable's all about, you probably just look there and go, it's a bad ball. But
the way I play, like, if I've got 6 inches or 8 inches, I'll draw it 9 times out of 10. But this year I was just forced to run everything because the drawing was, I just couldn't put my ball down the line and be confident it was going to draw the shot, to be fair. And I think that summed my World Championships up.
Do you think it was the carpet, the underlay, or the floor? I watched it a few times where I don't know whether people picked up on it. The jack was getting chucked up, and as it was slowing down, if the umpire never grabbed hold of it, there was times where it would stop and then go 3 inches left.
Listen, I'm not an expert on the carpet side, but for me, it's played so long as I think it had to be the floor. Definitely had to be the floor. I think maybe some screws have popped up, vice versa, some screw heads, and a bit of the floors come up. That's the only thing I could think of. Definitely the floor. There's nothing wrong with the carpet and underlay, I don't think. I think it had to be the floor.
It's the floor that basically dictates how the rink plays. At the end of the day, we had this discussion at your club, Rich, once upon a time where they got a whole brand new carpet and everything put down, and it was like, oh, this will be fantastic, and literally it found all the same runs that it used to have in the first place because it was settled and found all the old ones. But
I think what the WBT probably took away from the event is, like, when you watch the snooker on that, and I know it's like so difficult, like, you watch the snooker and their incidents happen, they've got people on site that can just sort that and change it straight away. I think when we're practicing a couple of days before the event comes, I know once the tournament started, you probably shouldn't be going in there and alternate because people were already lost. So it's one of them. What's the right and what's the wrong to do? Should you be able to sort it? Should you not?
I think, Stu, at the end of the day, I think as long as it's done pre-event and all players are aware of the fact that if something like that's there, we're not. We weren't talking about something minor there. It was a serious deviation on the ring.
But it was one board across the carpet. It was like 2.5 feet out from the commentary box. I think it was a one board, both sides. I think it popped up. I think the problem was it was one board.
I think if players were given the choice and were told at the start of the tournament, before the games start, if we feel as if something's not right, would you prefer it to be rectified and be right, or leave it as it is and scratch your head at the end of the competition and go, that could be the reason why you've gone out? And I think most of the players would say to be as good a drawn surface as what we can get it.
Yeah. For me personally, I lost the first round of pairs, and it wouldn't have bothered me one bit if the carpet was fixed, because then I knew it would have probably benefit me going forward in singles.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's me being just myself's opinion in that. For me, it would have benefited my game better.
We want to be seeing top class balls drawn within inches, not talking about, there's that ball just drifting off there again, there's that little run again. If you can get 8 rinks or 6 rinks that play pretty well, then we can get 1 rink right. So I think it's certainly discussed going forward. It's certainly feedback that I've given. You're exactly right, and I've made exactly the same example. If a cushion wasn't bouncing properly on a snooker table at the World Championships, Riley's would have been in the night before, overnight, and sorted that cushion out without a doubt. A couple of things from your own point of view that you would like to see changed at Potters. Have you got any thoughts, Joe? Think there's anything needs to be done to lift the tournament again or to freshen it up?
For me, the seniors was a good idea, but I think the guys knew themselves how bad the carpet was. Just that they struggled as well. For me, I liked under 25s, but I would like to have seen more under 25s.
Yeah.
And not just 4 people. I'd have opened that up a wee bit more. I don't see anything wrong with the mixed and the ladies. I think the ladies this year was as good as it has been. Only negative I'm going to say is I think there was too many pairs games. That's the only negative I'll take away from it. As you know, when you're a top 16 player, the amount of practice slots we got was very slim, and that was to all competitive tournament because there were so many matches going on the portable carpet.
Yeah.
I think that would probably be the only negative I would take out of it.
And there'll be more from Stewie in about 5 minutes. Now, it's a Richie rant, this one, mind you. Triples game, 2's up. It is the work of the devil, mate. It is the work. Whoever plays 2 up in triples needs kicking up the backside. Format is very slow. At a time we're looking to engage viewers and attract spectators, it feels like when we do that format, it's a step backwards. I mean, I streamed yesterday and it was a great game. It was a cracking game, triples game. Really enjoyed it. Start, the end, the middle was long. If you can't play 18 ends in 3.5 hours, how? What's?
I didn't watch all of it, Rich. How many dead ends was there?
I think there might have been 2, if that. The problem was when you play 2's up, you lead players, and then the second man from one squad will walk up and play his ball, and then he might walk back to the head, and then the second man from the other squad, who's still at the head, will walk up and ball his ball. I mean, all the comments I've getting today at the club, it says, great game. By God, that format, slow.
I've had a couple of comments today of people saying that they were watching it. They actually said they were watching it and then said who won in the end because it was dragging on a little bit.
I know. I mean, I've checked the figures today, and the viewing figures are great. Live viewers, we had about 190 from the start to about the back end of the game constantly, which is great. And then we kicked over 330 for the finish. I was ending up streaming for 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
4.5 hours for a triples game. Whether they've got to look at saying, well, you restrict the number of visits to the head or just didn't play 2's up.
Do you know what it is? I probably agree with what you've just said there, Richie. You're playing a team and you've got to skip up there for a reason, direct. I think that probably could be a shout, like the amount of visits. If you kind of take instructions from a man who's up at the head, I know there's the odd time you want to have a quick look and see what the angles are, whatever that might be. Doesn't have to be all the time.
You used to play the 2's up.
I know.
I'm
not a fan. I'm not a fan of it at all.
I've never liked. I've never liked. I mean, you've qualified for national championships down at Nottingham. Do they play 2's up at Nottingham?
Yeah, they tend to, and I think that's where it stems from. To be honest with you, Rich, but my opinion, Christ, I'd be off there in 35 minutes if I had the chance.
You're shaking hands in the way. You'd be
crack on, boys.
You could
scrap the trial ends. Just crack on.
Crack on. I get on with it. Just because you show up ready.
I don't see the need for it in triples. It's it's not like you've got your 3s and your 4s up in 4s, but obviously by the time the front 2 play, there's 8 balls in the head, so there's a reason your third man's in there to have them discussions and have them tactical discussions. But there's only 6 balls up. There's 6 balls up by the time the Leeds have played in a game of triples. I hate to say it, mate, but for once I completely agree with you. I think it's got to be something as simple as your 2 you're up there, you're not playing 2s up, and your second men or your second women are allowed 1 visit to the head. Something simple like that, so you can choose whatever ball you want, have a look at that head at second, and then your skips do what your skips need to do. Because as far as I'm concerned, the heads change that much for a skip, then there is that need to maybe go up there once or twice and have a look at what the crack is and where you need to cover and where you need to stick a ball, but there's no need to. I'm not a big fan of triples, full stop. I've never been.
I know you're not a bad fan of 3-ball triples. You'd gone down to 2-ball triples.
I would, yeah, I would.
You'd gone down, and that probably solved the 2s up, wouldn't it?
Completely brings the bashes into the game. There's that many balls in there. You just give somebody 1 extra ball, and there's a big difference. For me, you see a lot of players who don't qualify in 4s who might qualify in triples because it gives them that extra ball, allows them to play that extra rash ball, whereas in 2-ball 4s, you get minimal chances. I'll probably get a load of rubbish on social media having a go at us.
All I'm saying is, mate, I'll leave that one there. and after me post, I'm going nowhere near foot faulting. I'm leaving that subject well away. Well, clickbait rage, putting posts up for comments, trying to get money. I'm going, delete.
Oh, is that what was said? Was it? I didn't say that.
I've never heard of that clickbait rage, but never mind. Took it off.
You know what it is? It just sums up the world now, mate. It was a completely valid point, and I know the lad really well, and it might be a one-off thing. It's his style of delivery. It happens. I see it happening a lot, and I've argued in the past
with me.
Is 2 inches off the mark going to make any difference? Right. And I've had other people come back and say rules is rules, which I agree with. But it was blatant. The ball was still in his hand. He was. And there's no arguing of the fact. It's making a valid point of that's the rules in the game, and the rules have simply been broken. And at the end of the day, people just can't accept that and think that you're having a go. And in a lot of circumstances, mate, it's probably best to take it down because, as you know, I just get bored to tears with 75% of social media users.
It's merely when people's fire. It's impossible to police. It's impossible to stop the ball. It's impossible to put the head back together.
But clickbait rage, Christ almighty.
Clickbait rage. We'll get one of them right. Well, we'll go attacked completely. Commonwealth Games, mate. Glasgow 2026. Now, I've got a list of yourself, Foster, Marshall, and probably Jason as well. Do you fancy your Commonwealth Games, mate? I would like to be the Scottish selector.
Well, I'm just glad the Commonwealth Games is on for a start. It's just that for bowls it has to be on. If Commonwealth Games didn't have bowls in it, I just don't see what forward role bowls has. To be picked in this Scotland team, Jason Banks has just threw another spanner in the works.
He has, without a doubt, yeah.
Myself, Paul, Alec, would David Goulart make a comeback? Dan Burnett's obviously retired, so we have a lot of class players in, like Ian McLean, for one, Mike Stepney's still there. Well, to this day, I still don't think there is a manager in place yet. I hope that gets picked soon, but Scotland could have 5 teams in this and compete, so they could. Listen, I'll just play my indoor the way I always do and try and win every game I play, and hopefully I'm lucky enough to get one of these slots. It's going to be a tough job for whoever's like that, and listen, not just Scotland, England as well. How do you pick 3 players from them as well?
Yeah, I think the 4 home nations have got a big task on their hands to pick. I mean, you could, in theory, just pick a squad of 2 players.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, I think most UK players and overseas Australia, New Zealand and that will probably go with the 3 players because it's be a lot of games to play singles and pairs. Yeah. I think it'd be a lot of games. I think
it depends how many countries are going to be allowed in, because I can't imagine them given sort of like 32 countries or whatever, because like you say, there's just too many games. I think there's only going to be 4 rings, so your hands is tied there straight away on the ring availability, isn't it?
Well, especially if there's going to be 7 events as well, because you've got two men's, 2 ladies, and you've got the 3 para events as well.
You've got the paras in as well, yeah.
Good luck to whoever's dealing with that. And I think the good thing is as well, I've obviously just had a Zoom call the other day with Bowl Scotland as well, that the SEC is going to be the main stage for bowls, and it's going to be Team Scotland's hub as well. So that's obviously great. Obviously the bowls is in the arena where the main hub's going to be as well. So I think that's great for us as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think the overriding thing is is we've just got to be massively thankful that Bowles was selected. I was always confident it was when we were talking about it. There was initial talks about it going up in Scotland. I thought it would be very strange if Bowles wasn't involved, but there's still been a lot of discussions I've seen on our social media channels, which I like to dip in now and again and pull my hair out a little bit, but still people complaining about the fact that there's only three people in a team and things, and it's like just
funny. But see if it's a 5-man team, 5-women team, that we'll still be putting our hair out with some of
yeah, I know.
But everybody should just be happy Bowles is there in that sense of come and support the guys who are selected and then just follow on from there.
Totally agree. So we've just seen, I saw bits and pieces of it. Obviously, Paul, Nicky, Alex and co being out for the Premier League. Did you get an option to go out there again, Stu, or not?
I know I've never been asked for the BPL. I know I spoke to a few guys and they this is something I probably should do, but I don't. They actually approached some of the clubs out there. Let's fire emails away to them. I know I spoke to Jamie. He fired several emails away and that. But it's something like, listen, if the guys want me to play, I'm here. I'm here to play, and I would love to play in it. I'm not saying I wouldn't. I've just never been asked to play, so that's the truth behind it all. Hopefully one day I'll be asked, because these guys kind of keep playing all the time.
Great to see a Northern Hemisphere contingent over there now. It's starting to, obviously, we're starting to see a lot of our regular faces playing in the tournament, and it was a surprise. Obviously yourself, maybe even Darren, etc., weren't there. So I thought I'd ask the question. I just wondered whether it was, time related or work related. Or...
No. So what happened is, when I was out in Australia last year, I was out there for 2 months. I was out there for April, beginning of April to the end April to the end of May. So it was, I think, something like that. And we were playing in a Pennants League, me and Dan, by Carlingford Koalas. So they'd put an interest to go in it, because they were looking for 2 new teams. So then you have to put 3 players in who would play for you, because the 2 new teams that were going into it had to have UK based players in it.
Right.
So this was something the BPL had brought out. So me and Dan obviously was there, and I don't know if we had maybe an Australian girl lined up to play with. So, but when we didn't get put in, obviously these players had already been signed up by other clubs, or like Jamie obviously was in the Saints team and Paul was in the Geelong team. So I think that's the route they went down. So we were unfortunately, we missed out, or we could have been in it playing for a different club. Yeah,
that's spot on. Well, fingers crossed. I mean, me and Richie say this all the time. When anybody who comes on this podcast always seem to win something or do something, so you never know. The Canberra Crocodiles or something like that might be on the phone soon for a multi-million pound contract.
For me, how good would it be to have a UK team involved in that as well? That's something I've always said. But
definitely,
where does the UK get the base financially to go over there? You know what I mean? It's going to cost thousands.
It is. I did look into it a few years ago, and it's I think the actual entry and things like that could be raised, but it's all of the logistics around it. It's it's, you don't really want to be flying across their economy for 24 hours, getting off the plane and then going straight on to Bowling Green, because you're going to be knackered. So. You'd expect to at least, have a decent flight across there, and then there's the hotel. So all of that stuff around it starts to mount up, and it's it would take somebody with a little bit of clout to be able to get a British team out there, I think. But fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, somebody chaps on the door one day. Yeah, I would love to play in that, to be honest.
So for rest of the year, Stu, what's the plans? What's the hopes for obviously the remainder of the indoor season? Then going, are you playing outdoors?
Yeah, we'll be. Yeah, obviously with the Commonwealth Games, obviously been selected by the outdoors. I would need to make myself available to play outdoors. Yeah. So international outdoors, I'm not too sure what the scenario is around that. If I have to play that or not, it's still, the details are still to be kind of thinned out. So there is podium events, but for me next, obviously I've got the British singles next week. So next at Llanelli, then hopefully we take you lot out in the international.
Steady on. Cut the stream.
Get him off.
Yeah, so British Isles singles first, and then obviously again, hopefully beat you a lot the following couple of days. So.
We'll edit that.
We'll edit that out. He didn't want to say that.
We'll just do one of them dodgy voices, Rich, and put. And I really hope that the English win the series.
Yeah. We'll get Rippy on. We'll get James Rippy on. Get him on to say it.
Yeah, he was half and half on. He was half and half on.
Old fence sitter. Just a couple before I finish, mate. Anything that you'd like to see changed in the sport, indoors and outdoors? Anything?
Outdoors is easy for me. Like, outdoor a change. I think we have to get back to the full international setup for a start, because right. I think a lot of the top players in Scotland will come back and play straight away. But for me, this top 10 thing, it's just if you and I've said this before, like I'm quite happy to add other events in, but don't take away something that wasn't broken. And for me, the internationals is definitely missed, and I think all 4 nations know not just me or David or yourself would agree in that, and that's the problem. But the hierarchy just don't like it for some reason.
I quite think. I mean, didn't get his Dave. You'll see, I didn't get him on about bloody 6 rings internationals and what have you. But so I think it was the crown jewels. Me, I thought it was like the Ashes of it, like you say, powers that be think otherwise. And every time I've watched you on the green, nothing seems to faze you. Now, what gets under Stewart Anderson's skin? Is it if you were playing me and I shouted "Wick, hit it hard"? Would that get you back up?
No, because then when I play one, I shout "Wick" back at you. No. Listen, I've always said, like, people apologise to me and all that. Sorry. Yeah, it's fine. But I've always said, and I've always brought up this way: seeing a ball leaves my hand, there is absolutely nothing I can do about it.
Exactly.
What I say? People say, "Well, come on, give me this." I said, "But what do you want me to do? You want me to just run up and stop my ball?" No, there's nothing you can do, and I was always brought up that way, and I'll always be the same. If somebody gets a fluke off me, I just walk straight at the park and just throw my next ball, and that's the best way. Why just stand there and shake your head? Yeah. There's nothing you can do about it.
What makes our sport, because these are the things that can happen in a game. That it's like so there's flukes happening every single sport that we've got. Some people tossing towels about, they're kicking stuff, and it's like, you're forgetting about all of the 100 that you've probably had over the season, but it always tends to be the ones that happen at the key times in big games. It's like
when you watch top sports people, like, say Ronnie O'Sullivan, Stephen Henry, when they get a flip, they just put their hand up and they're ready to play their next shot.
Yeah.
When you look at Djokovic and Murray, they hit the net and it falls in their area. They just put their hand up, turn around and grab another 2 balls. You know what I mean? It's just you just go on with it. There's nothing you can do.
I've got a new tack now. If I make a one or something out of a fluke, I just shout up and go, I can't believe I didn't make a 3 out of that. That winds them up even more, man. It's class.
Yeah. And then their next 8 balls are all over the place while you're just laughing your head off. That's the best way.
Exactly.
Well, I'll tell you what, Davey, the next time you get a fluke against me, you're not doing Djokovic on me and grabbing 2 balls.
You never get close enough to get a fluke.
You bitch.
No, I've always said as well, the majority of times that you get luck in this sport is if you're in the area to actually get it as well, or you've created something to make that look as well. It doesn't just happen. You get games where things happen all the time.
Have you ever played a game where you've been 5 or 6 down and get a flick? Because always seem to go against you. When you lose, when you're losing a game,
everything goes against.
Always goes against you. You never get a flick when you're winning.
I'm gonna get it. Invariably, you're in the area and things seem to happen. When you're walking away from that mat and you're thinking, I'm gonna get some bad luck here. It just seems to happen, and it's just a mentality thing.
You're right. Yeah, it's all in the mind. If you go down there with 60% saying, "Oh, just throw up here and hope for a result," you'll not get a result. You have to be fully focused on the shot you're going to play and back yourself all the time. It's like no point in down there half hesitant. You're not going to get it.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree. So the last thing from me, I laughed when your messages the other day to say why you couldn't join us on Sunday. So played quite a bit of balls over your time, Stu. So you've now added the carpet balls to your repertoire. How long have you been playing this?
Well, funny enough, my 2 brothers have been successful at it. So actually, one of my brothers, David, he actually went to Potters before I went to Potters. He went to Potters to play in the World Championship shot mat. They 2 have been very good. They played for Ireland because they lived in Ireland for a few years, so they played for Ireland International. So the 2 of them started up Stranraer Bowling Association, Stranraer Shot Mat Association. My 2 brothers played with them. So one day I would just sit and talk to my brother, and he says to me, "Do you fancy playing national triples shot mat?" And I'm going, "Okay." I'm saying, "Fine." So every game they've been playing has been at Auchinleck. So he says, "Yeah, no problem. What day is it?" And I'll check my calendar, see if everything's fine. I says, "Oh, it was fine." So I end up going out in the national shot mat triples, but it was in Inverness. They didn't tell me this. My straight answer would have been no, because I wasn't travelling 3.5 hours up to Inverness. So, but we actually won 5 games and lost 2 and didn't even get out of our group. So it was mad. So I played the top 5 last night. So we managed to get 20 points out of a possible 24. So yeah, it was good. Yeah,
so just to get it right, Stu, is it short mat or is it carpet balls? Because obviously there's
short
30,
mat.
So 30-foot mat, yeah.
Yeah, short mat.
40-foot mat for short mat. So a 40-foot. Your mat's 40-foot, because there is, I don't know if you saw any of the stream that Richie had on yesterday, but there's carpet balls that's predominantly played quite a lot in Durham, Sunderland, etc., which is only a 30-foot mat. Very similar similar to short mat, but diamond in the middle. All sets of balls are identical. So you've got 8 Drake's Pride balls, for example, and brown and black, and they're all identical. So you play the short mat version where you can use your own balls, yeah?
We use the own balls, yeah. And it's listen, it's something I would never ever thought I would do, but just you know David Kelly from Shunra? Yeah. So it was actually them, they all play it. So it was actually them that says, listen, it'd be great to get your name involved in it and try and boost our sport a wee bit. So can't say I've just been picking an international team for the short mat. So
have you?
yeah. So I've got a trip to Solihull, I think, in November time. That's if I can play, if I'm available. So
I would love to see the faces when you walk through the door.
Yeah, listen, trust me, I'm not good at it, so I'm okay. I'm not the best, so I've
played it as well, Stu. It is really good, and it's another format of our sport which is a really popular one, and that's why I was sort of just clarifying it, because carpet bowls goes down and they play their Champion of Champions events and things down at Potters, so they get all the carpets out, but they're, like I said, just a 30-foot mat. But I know there's massive short mat tournaments all over Europe, and there's a huge short mat tour as well. So
yeah, I've seen that. I watch that live sometimes. But they're on a different level. I'm like, trust me. So just amazing what they can do. Like they go to, we're based in Auchinleck indoor. So like say on last night there was eight short mat carpets down in Auchinleck last night, and we're playing a top 5 competition. So it was good.
Stuart, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. We'll not take any more of your night. I sense that you would walk away from the World Championships this year, and I'm sure you'll be obviously gunning to get back there next year, and hopefully that surface has run a little bit better, and you'll be having another bash at retaining that Scottish title again that you had for 2 years previous.
Yeah, that was a bit of a disaster as well. But yeah, no, listen, I can't fault my last 3 or 4 years, to be honest with you. It's been just, you dream of the years, to be honest, David, to be fair. I think I played during both first rounds of the Worlds when I won it. And,
I can't remember that, Stu. No, I can't remember. Did you?
Coach.
Every year I play Dave in the first round, I seem to do well, so I'll be looking for that.
They do say, Stu, when you beat the best, you know what I mean?
There you go. There we go.
You took the kingpin out of the tournament, it was plain sailing after that.
No, but cheers anyway, guys, for asking me to come on, and keep doing the wonderful job you're doing, by the way. It's brilliant.
Thanks, mate. Thank you. Cheers,
Thank you, mate. Take care, Stu.
No worries, guys. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Right, there you go, mate. And another one over and done with. Show number 60. A smashing little chat with Stewart Anderson. Probably one of the best, as you say, mate. Currently knocking around. There was some sad news for the Bulls scene when the news came out of the blue that the Bulls TV YouTube channel was taken down. By my reckoning, you generally get 3 strikes before you're out on YouTube, but apparently they never even got the 3 strikes. They got kicked off straight away. Paul Nicholls, who runs it, he's done a great job of promoting the Bulls over Norfolk.
He has.
Built up a good following. The lad did appeal the decision to YouTube, but computer said no. I know the amount of time and effort, financial commitment it takes to stream. And before anybody says it, no one is forcing you to do it. But I do know how disappointing Paul is. It's disappointing.
It was, and it was sad to watch his post that he put on Facebook where he obviously had the camera on himself and was explaining things, and you could visibly see how upset he was by it. It's a really sad thing, and it's just such a, I just cannot fathom it. Like, I just cannot work out why on earth anything at all could have been that bad.
It's a hard one, that, and could happen to us down the line. You never know. If it happens, it happens.
I mean, that was the first thing I thought about. I kind of think of anything different Paul could have done in any of his streams. Crikey, the amount of rubbish we talk about, crikey. I mean, Disney could have had us banned 2 years ago. It's just such a strange thing, and it's such a sad thing, not just for Paul, for obviously a lot of people who followed him and just want to watch live balls. It's hardly like you going out there and video and live fights or out like that. You know, it's like, crikey, it's a game of balls. If there was something on there or something said, simple email to say we've had them, like you said. You get an email to say you've created infringement or whatever.
It's mostly music. If they can hear a popular song in the background, then YouTube and Facebook grab you by the holics and tell you, well, this is copyright, blah 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 blah. You either cut it out, you cut that bit audio out, or you take the whole lot down. So as for the conspiracy theory that's going around involving the AIBA, well, what a lot of old holics that is. A little bit mischievous by people there, I think, putting one and one together and getting 6. Speaking of the IBA, I gather they're going to bring the OSC coverage in-house onto their own platform. Paul was told that his services are not required for the OSC, which at the end of the day, it's the AIBA's own product. They can do what they like with it. Let's not forget the contribution that Paul did in raising the profile of it by streaming several of the events. So we look forward to seeing to that. Their own platform, I've subscribed to it. $9.99 a year, works out to 83 pence a month, all of which goes back into the sport. I think it's good value. I don't mind. After watching the mixed at Bristol, I never thought I would say it, mate. The music done me head in. Touch loud.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was just that.
I never watched any of them, mate, if I'm honest, because obviously I was travelling. I did hear somebody saying that it was loud, and I just wondered whether it was close to a microphone or something like that.
Yeah, no, the background music, for honest, popular background music, and I think the only way they get round it, from that the news, they must have a music license because it was all popular music and what have you. So that did me edit. And the other one was I thought it was a classic. Umpire gets down, gets calipers out. Cameraman jumps straight on the green with his camera.
I saw that.
He must have been about 2 foot away from the poor umpire. I would have given him a flea in the ear. I seen Andy Dunham was on the green, so that cameraman standing there and just giving them the eye. Just giving them the look, get out.
It's a pressure enough job to start with without having a camera stuck in your face.
Although I'm saying that, I do zoom in, like.
Oh, I know you do. You just do it for the laugh. At least you see it, that I'm going to go and put the umpire under a load of pressure.
I did it yesterday when Kenny Johnson was measuring the last end.
I saw that.
I said, hold on, I'll just zoom in on Kenny. Kenny's a rock. Right, folks, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Got a busy month in April, doing a lot of streaming in April. I think we're out every weekend. So keep your eyes open and we'll get the posts out. As always, we hope you enjoy it. Thanks for your support.
See you later. Thank you for listening and hope you've enjoyed the show.
This has been a Dodgy production.